Welcome to Workaday Hollywood. My name is Kevin R. Livingston.
And I'm David Adams Hood. And today we're going to be speaking to Gil Gax, a longtime background performer. And let's get into it. Hi, Gil.
Hey, how you all doing, man?
Good.
We're good.
Great.
How are you?
Oh man, I've seen better days, I've seen worse days, but I'm not complaining yet. I'll complain tomorrow. All right.
All right.
Hmm,
Sounds good.
Great.
It's a good
So you're,
attitude.
yeah. So you're from Dayton, Ohio.
Yeah, man, I came out here in '77 um because I saw all these movies about California and the beach and stuff, and I said, "Wow, man, I got to come out here." Plus, I was inspired by Freddie Prinze and Jimmy Walker in comedy. I wanted to come out here and try that. That started kind of everything, and I just couldn't go back. I mean, I couldn't go back to that horrible winters in Ohio and stuff. I just miss drinking beer with Orville and Wilbur Wright, from Dayton. Oops, I
Sure.
made that part up. I'm a Leo, so I'm a lion. I'm so sorry. Trying to get into stand-up comedy. You remember Chico and the Man? Freddie Prinze was on Chico and the Man back in the '70s, like '74 or whatever. And then Jimmy Walker was from Good Times, and those young comedians kind of inspired me to, try to get into that. Man, I thought it'd be cool, but then I got into other things like wanted to be. Oh, now I want to be Jimi Hendrix, right? So I started playing guitar. After I saw the Hendrix movie in '73, I said, "Oh, okay." But I just did that as a hobby, not for money. And then all of a sudden, I said, "Oh man, now I want to be an actor. Jack of all trades and master of none." But it's been a lot
Right.
of fun. Don't get me wrong on that one, man.
Yeah.
All right. So now I got a question. When you were pursuing stand up, because I know what I
I
did,
was,
right?
yes.
What did you do to sustain while you were in between gigs and going to open mics or whatever? What kind of jobs were you doing?
I was doing like background work, though. You see,
Okay.
background work sustained me. But I came out here with $2,000, $2,000, so I got to mess around with. And unfortunately, like I was telling someone, my grandfather worked in the movie studios from the '30s through the '60s, and then that would have really helped, me get into something because when I first came out here, I went to all the various movie studios to try to get, like a crew job as a crew member, but he told me
Right.
everybody that I know is either retired or passed away, so I can't really help you. See. So I just started at the
Okay.
bottom in this, and I'm still at the bottom. I'm kidding. All right. I only did like 5 or 6 stand-up comedy performances, but before I started getting into the other things, because I really love impersonating Jimmy. That's so much fun,
Okay.
and that you can't have more fun than that.
And you're
I mean,
very good at it. I've seen it.
thanks.
Yeah.
I'll pay you for saying that later.
Now, would you go on the road with that, or would you just do it around Hollywood and LA?
Oh, I would just do it at Hollywood, LA, because I did it as a hobby and not a real profession. So I do open mics, jam nights, places,
Okay.
parties. I go out to Doodah Parade and do that. That wonderful Doodah Parade in Pasadena, and then I do get hired for little TV show gigs like Robert Townsend's The Parent Trap. There was a dream sequence. He got in a coma, so he wouldn't haven't met Jimi Hendrix and Bruce Lee, doing things like
I
Chevy
remember that
Voltaire because
show.
they want yeah, and well they want lookalikes. See, so anytime I could get a gig where could impersonate Hendrix, man, I was in heaven. And so there's quite a bit of those, and I'm too old to be Hendrix now. I mean, I'll still do the doodah parades or for fun like Halloween stuff, but I won't really play them anymore. But what I'm thinking about doing now, developing a comedy act with incorporating the Hendrix thing, like I'm sorry, yeah, like Steve Martin did back in the day with his banjo. Man, I
Banjo.
thought that was kind of cool, and I wish I'd have thought of that back in the day because I feel like I could have got somewhere with it instead of just separating them and getting nowhere fast with either. I wish I'd have done both.
Tell us about some of the background gigs you did. You did the Blues Brothers.
Oh, the first one I did was the Blues Brothers, man, and that's what got me addicted to doing that. And that was like in '79. $30 for 8, man. That's too much money. But I fell in love with a girl listen, watching the Blues Brothers, getting paid, man, 3 days of bliss. And then as soon as it took me about a year after that because I didn't know anybody to help me out. But once I joined the agencies, then I could, survive. But only because I didn't have a wife or family. I don't want any kids cutting into my beer money. It's either bottle for the baby or bottle for me.
Let me ask you this, because I had done background work before, right? Present day. When you got to 30 for 8, were the productions still going 12 and 14 hours?
Yeah, because we work 12-hour days on those, so I got probably a whopping $60 per day.
Right. Okay. Because it doubled once you went past 8 hours, right? Or you got time and a half past 8.
Yeah, 9 and
so
10.
So it was more than just 30.
11 and 12.
But what I'm saying is, it was enough. You made enough per day to be okay. Because I know when I was doing it was 54 for 8, and by the end of the week, I would have a check for $400 or $500.
Right. Yeah. See.
So I'm guessing back then that was still enough to sustain you, being a background player.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But you got to be single though.
Well, that's true. Yeah, you can't support a family doing that. But then when you're young,
that was the days of the Screen Extras Guild too.
Yes, but I never got into that. That was the hardest thing in the world to get into. You had to know somebody to get into that or something, right? But and then when I joined SAG in '94, no, actually, I was eligible in '84 because of this Body Rock movie that I was Taft-Hartley in. But I ended up joining him until '94 because that's when you could make more money. That's why I quit doing the non-union extra work, and you could do union background work with higher pay.
Yeah,
without the extras guild, you'd be on the SAG side of it. Yeah.
They feed you better too.
Feel guilty eating that good, even though my name is Gil. Man,
so well.
I don't know. I remember being on sets and there'd be union and non-union, and you'd walk by the union cart and you couldn't grab the candy bars or the sandwiches, none of that, right? Because you're non-union. You sit over here in the corner.
No.
Nice. Be happy we even picked you this morning. I remember those days, man. And I remember, right, that the non-union actors would look at the SAG background players and go, yeah, right? Because everybody wanted those 3 vouchers so they could get the candy. It wasn't even about the money. It was about the candy.
Yeah, I remember, man, it's so many runs all together. I mean, I was doing it for decades until I decided, finally, I was doing like after the first decade, some people going that just bring. Then the second decade, even more. Third decade, even more. By the fourth decade, I said, I'm out of here. It was time for me to go then. Then I just started doing, the union professional acting stuff or whatever,
Right.
I just, And now I'm basically retired. So, I just love not going anywhere, I love it, I hate responsibility. I remember all the terrors I was in the past, man. Now I'll think of all the good stories as soon as we hang up. But anyway, no, but I've had some great, especially when you go on the set and you meet some girls, some actors you like. One of my favorites was Meg Foster,
Oh, nice.
Jane Kennedy, working with Leon Isaac, Jane Kennedy. Those beautiful women make the day go by faster,
Now, were they nice people?
See, oh yeah, man. For the 98% are nice, but you'll meet the anti-evil ones every once in a while. But I haven't had any bad personal experience with any of them, really. I met some really cool. I mean, my favorite actors, like your heroines, like when I was out there in Dayton, before I moved out here, was like Jan Michael Vincent. He was my favorite actor, so I come out here.
Airwolf.
Yes. Oh man, yes. And the world's greatest athlete and all these great. He was the highest paid actor at one time, young actor in Hollywood. So anyway, I'm going to open mic night at Trancas Bar and Grill, which is Trancas past Malibu, north of Malibu. So I'm playing there, and I walk off the stage, and there's Jan and saying, congratulating me. I said, "Wow, Jan, it's like that's a high, things like that. And Mick Fleetwood was there, so I used to go there, you know, not too often because it was just so far away, but it's perks like that, man. And then you run into. Then I ran into a few other places, like the casting office. You familiar with that bar in Cahuenga and Barham? It's not there anymore. It's been gone. But
Is that the? Oh no, I'm thinking Residuals, the one where.
oh, I love that place. I love Residuals. In fact, I'm going there right now. I'll see you guys later.
Yeah.
No, but I love that. That's where you like if you have a residual under $1, you put on the wall. Familiar with that?
And they give you a beer.
Yes. Yeah. So that's why I was hoping, anything I worked on, I was hoping I wouldn't get many residuals, so I get the free beer.
Yeah, that's right.
Low.
Now, Residuals, that's on Ventura Boulevard, right?
Yes. Yes.
So it's like in a shopping mall, right?
Yes. Yeah,
Because I think I went by there one day. I didn't go in, but I went by there.
I think they changed management to, they changed it one time to MAUVES, something like that. Then it might be Residuals again, if I'm not mistaken, but I'll look into that,
Right. That is, it is a, yeah, that's a classic, that Residuals. I've been there a few times.
Yeah. But then there's an Irish pub just at the other end of the complex, so I just ping pong back and forth,
So what were your favorite shows to work?
Did you do
well, probably you talking about when I was doing background work a long time ago?
Yeah.
Those ER was cool because I'm sure you probably worked on that maybe because you could get multiple days out of that, even up to a week or whatever, A-Team was fun, because I like the A-Team. That was fun, man. Any movie with a strip bar in it, those are fun.
That's always good.
It's always good. And there's all kinds of man. There's all kinds of fun ones, but those were my favorite ones, probably. But the film work was more fun because it'd be more exciting, or especially ones when I could be Jimmy. I mean that's like I'm in heaven, man. I don't work for free on that.
Did you do Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
I never worked on that. What was the story about that film?
I don't know. I think Johnny Luckett worked on it. Our friend, and I thought you were part of that. They got in on that.
No, I missed that one for some reason. That might have been after I quit doing it.
They, I think he was in the there's like a KKK dance scene or something. There was,
really?
Yeah, in that movie. So it was this huge, like Bob Fosse number.
Oh,
all with the hoods.
It's like the Springtime in Germany, and that one song
exactly.
Was
yeah. So give us another one. What else did you work on?
Okay, you're talking about the extra work, right?
Talking about the extra work. This is Workaday Hollywood. So anything that, we're just working on.
I'll tell you, going to Warner Brothers was really fun. Warner Brothers and basically anything there was quite fun. But Cobra Studios, like I liked working on the like, what was that, the Goldmans or Goldberg or something? They took place in the old days.
Yeah,
any period piece like that. Yeah. I worked on something called the 60s. Okay, it was the 60s where we reenacted the Woodstock festival.
Sure. Did you play Jimmy on that one?
Yes, but not. But here's the thing. This is a sad part. Okay, makes me sad. So I'm gonna start crying. But after we close, anyway, I went there. I specialize in doing that. Somebody else got the Jimmy part because I didn't go that day. But the day I was there, they had me walking around Woodstock in my outfit, right? But I wasn't focused as him. I was just a background Jimmy, right? I mean, or black hippie, whatever. But then when I found out that some they gave that part to a background actor, that killed me, man. Because I wish I was there that day. I was probably somewhere where I shouldn't have been. Okay.
What was the Greasy Strangler?
That went to the Sundance Film Festival. We had to do like a Q&A there, and then ironically, that Skylar Bar and Michael are doing. They go on Q&As all over the country. They even went to Australia. I had to do one for that because they couldn't do it. This was for I had to go to Omaha, Nebraska, like a couple months ago. Then I just went on to Ohio to visit my folks. Q&As, they make me nervous, especially if you're the only one. See, I have the active buddies, with me. Take some of the pressure. Take some of the pressure. They wanted me by myself. So I go like this. I got that from Elton John. Elton John did
Right.
that. But anyway, but it was fun. I mean, I can't turn it down. I mean, you got to do it. And
Yeah.
we had to do one for Trouble Cocktails too. That 10 episode series that was on Cartoon Network. Oh yeah, we had to do a Q&A for that somewhere in Hollywood too. That had like a bigger cast. It was about like 7 of us on stage.
Nice.
No pressure.
Going back to the background stuff,
Yeah.
you getting work through central casting.
Yes, that was my main one. Yes.
Yeah.
They got a monopoly, man. Oh, man, you could be on that phone for hours, down over and over and over, hours all day. I mean, couple hours a day, and not get anything. See, that's. I could have been in the bar drinking somewhere, man. What a waste of time. But you never know. You got to go for it. I mean, shoot, that was my livelihood, so I was just doing it. It was part of the thing. But nowadays, it's so different. Right?
I mean, the hard work is always getting the work.
Yes,
Getting the work is fun.
That was it. That's why you love the multiple day jobs, like ER. I mean, I was glad to get on ER, man, because it got to the point they made that a habit, like in the later years of the show, that you would at least get multiple days, because it made it easier on them too. Because look at the situation they ER, most people are the same or whatever, or you can mix them up. It was great. Oh yeah. Oh, the most fun ones were just the bed scenes. You're a hospital. They call them hospital patients. You just lay in bed all day, getting paid for that. Are you kidding me? I love it.
Right.
Did you meet Slim?
From where?
He was the janitor on ER. Tall black dude.
Yes. He was there for a long time, wasn't he?
Right. Well, you worked that show. You would have met him.
Oh, of course. We just weren't on a first name basis, but yeah, of course I knew who he was. Yeah.
Yeah, because I met him at the beach because he used to play basketball all the time. That's how I met him.
Oh wow. And got that gig like that.
Yeah. Because he would tell me he would go over to Clooney's house and play basketball.
Oh yeah, because Clooney would play there.
Okay.
ER, man, yeah.
They'd play basketball and breaks during ER?
Yeah, Clooney would and some other people would, yeah, but I wouldn't, I just ran track in high school and that was it, man.
Well, running track is athletic.
Oh yeah, man. I ran the mile one time. I ran the 2 mile one time, right? I told the coach, I'm never doing this again, ever. I'm never doing this again. It was exhausting. So he cut me down to the mile, and that was bad enough. But I was more of a distance runner than a sprinter, right? This is back in '69. I'm aging myself. This is '69, man. I'll never forget one time I had to do the mile, and then he was desperate to get somebody to do the 880, I think it was. Yeah.
Right.
And man, I was so exhausted. I didn't do a good show on that one, but they shouldn't have put me in that, because when you're tired, man,
Look, shit happens.
You know it. That's why I wish I was a sprinter. I envy the sprinters, man, because they just got it over with. They're there, do it. They're there,
Get out.
Gil, I have a question for you.
Sure.
In 20 years, do you think people will be in a dark room looking at a 60-foot screen, or will they be home watching their 80-inch television?
I would say a 60-foot screen. Did you say 60-foot screen or an 80-inch television?
60-foot screen. You're in a movie theater, yeah.
I hope the theaters, they kind of made a comeback, I think, but hopefully, but you can't predict the future, that well. I didn't even trust Nostradamus, but that's a whole nother subject.
Right.
I didn't. Bad news.
Let's get a I've been saying dumb celebrity, but I think people interpret that as a dumb celebrity, a celebrity story that's just kind of like a mundane celebrity story.
Well, I remember there was my Jan Michael Vincent drinking stories. That was fun. And
what was he like to drink with?
Oh, he was cool, man. Because like it's like drinking one of your idols. I saw him at the casting office, and I said, because I haven't seen him in maybe a year or two, and he remembered me from Trancas, right? Those Q&As like they used to have at the Marriott Hotel, man. All the services. That's where I met. That's a fourth time I ran into Jan there, but I wanted to go see like Mark Farner from Grand Funk Railroad. I ran into him,
Okay.
and the guitar player for Janis Joplin, man. You know,
Wow.
and I got, I bought him a beer. You know, you know, he could have bought me one, but I wanted to buy him one. See, I want him to think
Okay.
I was important. But anyway, and then who I missed was Patty Duke. I had a crush on her when I was a kid. The Patty Duke show, and she passed away before I could go see her. That I didn't know because I would have asked her story. That tell me about your stories of Jim Morrison or Jimi Hendrix. She was right at that age.
Plus, she was on television, so she would run into those guys. Yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, man. I really liked her. And one of my favorite movies of all time was Flash Gordon, right? I got a Flash Gordon story. You want the half-hour version or the 30-second version? I got two versions. Whatever I remember.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm making this to make a point. I love movie stars. I went to the theater. The tickets were $2. This is back in 1980. Queen soundtrack, perfect acting, great story. I watched it 4 times in a row. Okay, the Q&A they had for Flash Gordon, right? It was Sam Jones and Dale was Dale Arden. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't think of her name offhand. She's gonna be mad. But anyway, I went to the Q&A and I went there and I told them that story. See, I wanted to make sure I was in the front this time because I missed my chance the other time. Make sure I'm sitting in the front and I want to tell them my crazy story about how many times I saw that movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of course,
Right.
they're going to react. Here's the first thing Dale, the actress who played Dale, Melody Anderson. Thank goodness. Anyway, she says, first time I go up there, I stand up and he goes, Jimi Hendrix. So all the ice was melted then. So it
Mm-hmm.
was kind of cool.
Well,
Yeah, man.
Gil, you are one of my favorite people to run into in a casting office back when I was doing them, when before I was retired too.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Well, those great, like Bruce Springsteen say about those glory days, man. You can't, those great, make good memories though, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
We had some great times and your kids are great. I loved your kids, man. You know,
Thank you.
they're cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we'll wrap it up here. What do you think, Kev?
Yeah, Gil, I appreciate you coming in. Thank you.
Oh, sure, man. That's fine. And all this other garbage I got written down here, which I couldn't see anyway. So you guys made it so easy for me not even to need that. There's some unimportant stuff left out, and half of those are lies too. So it's a good thing to end here. You're right.
All right.
All right, man.
Thank you all
Sounds
very
good.
much.
You have a great
All
day.
right.
You too. Peace and
Thank you,
love.
Gil.
Thank you.
You got it.
So that was a pretty good interview. I've known Gil a really long time, so that was a lot of fun. I've been wanting to get him on.
I enjoyed that. I
Yeah.
mean, I had never seen the guy before, but I enjoyed that. He was interesting.
Yeah, he's been around forever.
Right.
But
I mean, with the whole Hendrix thing, right?
mhm. Yep. Yeah.
And to have been a background actor for, 10, 20, 30 years, that's incredible.
30, I think. Yeah.
Well, it's a lot
Going.
of crosses and swipes.
What's that?
It's a lot of crosses and swipes.
Yeah.
Back to
Yeah.
the term.
And he does like to drink. He knows all the bars too in L.A.
Yeah, but he would go out to Malibu, man. I've been out here
Yeah.
20 years. I've never really went to Malibu. I've been out there maybe 3 times.
He will take a bus to a bar.
Really? Well, he
Yeah.
said that, right? That he'd stop driving and stuff.
Yeah.
But he lives in Hollywood. There's a ton of bars in Hollywood. He can walk there any one number of bars.
Yeah. Sometimes you like a certain one,
True. True.
Yeah, that is that extra work is some work, isn't it?
It is. But I mean, it's
You've done it.
in a controlled environment like that. it's it can be calming, and you sit around a lot. They feed you. Um, there is an element of the haves and have-nots with SAG background versus non-union background,
That's right.
because most non-union actors want to get a SAG card so they can eat off the candy cart.
That's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's working conditions and wages. That's a big thing.
Well, yeah. I mean, the money's okay. All right, the money's better as a SAG background actor, right? I get that, but I'm just saying
Hmm.
it's and they let you know you're like a second class citizen because they always
Yeah,
put
I
big 6'6" guy guarding the candy. At least
that's
on
the
the
working
shows I've been.
condition.
What's that?
That's the working conditions. So the wages are one thing, but the working conditions are something else, where you get things like golden time
Yeah.
and the better food and access to bathrooms and stuff like that. The better
Well,
bathrooms.
everybody has
You're not
access
go-
to bath.
Quality of the bathrooms is a little different when you're SAG.
No, I don't think it's that elitist. Not when it comes to a toilet.
Yes, it is. I did when I was up in San Francisco. I did background on a couple of Flubber and
Okay.
Patch Adams, and that was non-union background on that. And we had to go out to we had to hike out to porta potties. But if you're SAG, then you get an actual toilet. Sometimes,
Patch Adams. That was a Robin Williams movie, right?
that was Robin Williams.
Where
Yeah,
he played a
yeah. I,
doctor,
I
I
actually
think.
met Robin. What's that?
Okay.
I,
Now
I
you're
spent
going to tell me you're going to tell me he was a nice guy, right?
Robin.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on a first name. Yeah, yeah, he was a very nice guy. He took his when he was during his lunch break, they had a bunch of make a wish kids on set as part
Hmm.
of the one of the scenes, and and he would spend his whole break just playing and entertaining them
Oh, nice.
instead of eating lunch. Yeah, and I actually when I went on that set, I saw this tall guy, older, wearing pantaloons and just generally standing out. And I assumed at first he was the director because a lot of the time the directors dress different. Um,
Right.
but that was Patch Adams, and he was about as wanted on set as I was as background. So I spent most of my time on that set chatting with Patch Adams, which was kind of cool. He was a very nice guy. I think I think that movie uh, ultimately was not what he intended, as because it was his life story, and they kind of Hollywoodified it. Um, so he really wanted to talk about free healthcare, basically,
Well, they
and
weren't going to do that.
well, instead it was the love story, which was stupid and didn't mean anything.
Right.
It's like, um, yeah. Well, he had his whole deal was he created a free hospital. I don't think up there, but wherever he's from. Yeah,
Oh, okay. No, well,
yeah.
did the movie say
Um,
where he was from? Because I don't know where he's from.
I don't remember.
Okay.
I have a friend who went and did. He has a program where he sends people to underserved villages around the world, dressed as clowns to
Oh,
kind of
wow.
entertain kids and stuff. Yeah, and older people. I mean, just whatever people who are um, recovering.
Right.
Well, what give me one of your background experiences. What do you remember?
The TV show LAX with Blair Underwood and Heather Locklear.
Okay, I've heard of
They
her.
shot it
Them.
at Ontario Airport, and I was in like three scenes. And with the help of editing, right?
Mhm.
And I told my mother this at the time, and she just, no, 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 no. I'm in a group that's going up the stairs, right, to meet the mayor. So you see my back.
Yeah.
I'm also in a group with the mayor to meet the people coming up the stairs. Okay.
Hmm.
And then the last group I'm in, we walk past the mayor, okay, because he's standing by himself, and we're watching Blair Underwood see this kidnapped child fly away. And the reason why I'll never forget this is because I was so hungry. And we couldn't go to break until this guy said the line right. He did 6 takes. I was ready to take the nightstick I had in my hand and stick it up his, come on, man. Get the line out. Please get the line out. Right? Because we had got there 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And it was me and another guy. And at the time I had a 86 BMW, the white one, the small one.
Yeah.
And we had like, I don't know, $6 between us. And we had to bum rush the table to get the job. Non-union background.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we were able to get 3 days out of it. So yeah, that's why I
That's
was
great.
asking him how much he would make, 30 for 8, and then what the double pay would be. Because you always get more than what they quote you. Because you're there.
Well, yeah, you get more than 8 hours. Always get more than 8 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice if you get, sometimes if you get 8 hours, it's because you worked 4, or something like that, and you'll get which is also nice because you have to go home and, you have to get out of there. But yeah, those overtime is great on those sets. I got my SAG card on Nash Bridges doing extra work up in
Oh,
San
really?
Francisco. Yeah, Don Johnson and Cheech
Uh-huh.
Marin. And so I got I knew somebody in the casting office up there, so they kind of put me in for all 3 of my vouchers.
Oh, wow. All
And
right. So you got them through the vouchers. Okay.
yeah, and I remember one time I was cast as I usually get. I was cast as the accountant, and there was it was what's his name? Who I just said, Don Johnson, supposed to come in, and it's we're all in school desks, right? And there are all these kind of gangbangers and homeboys and all this stuff around me, and I'm there in a little, bow tie and my glasses and everything,
Right.
and they're all supposed to be afraid of me because I'm the accountant. And at some point, I was debating with wardrobe what glasses to wear and stuff. And apparently I wore the wrong glasses because Don Johnson walked on set, took one look at me and flipped his lid and just went bananas and quit the scene. Like, no, this is all wrong. It's all wrong. And he enraged. And that was it. We didn't do that scene.
Wow. Okay. Power of the actor. Now, explain to the audience what the vouchers are to get a SAG card.
Well, I mean, there's a short story and a long story. The vouchers are Taft-Hartley vouchers, which is based on a law that kind of was a little bit breaking unions. The Taft and Hartley were senators who wrote this law, and the idea was prior to that law, you really had to know somebody. It was really nepotism that would get you into a union. So you had to get invited in by somebody who was already in the union.
Right.
And the Taft-Hartley laws kind of made it a little fairer. So the last I know about it, you have to there are 2 ways to get into the union. You're either a principal, and they have to actually make a case that they couldn't find a union actor to do the job, so they'll hire a non-union actor and give them a Taft-Hartley. And it's either one principal or 3 background jobs. And there's now a rule that has to do with stuff that's union, but it's streaming. That's made everything a little more confusing. I have a friend who was able to get in by producing his own movie at some point. This was a few years back, and putting him in and himself in and writing a Taft-Hartley for himself.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Well, it was a good show this week.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Thank you, Kevin.
I'm Kevin R. Livingston.
And I'm David Adams Hood. And this was Workaday Hollywood. See you next week.
All right, champ.